Conservative new media viewers, LA Lakers fans around the world, JLin fans around the world, what's up? It's me, PFE, Paul F. Villario, the NBA expert. We're here to discuss in the long video format the Lakers' 120-105 destruction beatdown loss today to the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland, Ohio. With the defeat, the Lakers fall to 13-38 on the season. The Cavaliers improved to 32-21. Let's go over some stats quickly. Cavs were led by Kevin Love, 32 points, 10 rebounds. LeBron James, 22 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Kyrie Irving, 28 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists. The Lakers got 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists from Jordan Clarkson. Off the bench, Ed Davis, 16 points, 9 rebounds. Wesley Johnson, 15 points, 3 rebounds. Wayne Ellington, 12 points and 5 rebounds. JLin, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. In 21 minutes of playing time, shot 5 of 9 from the field, including 1 of 1 from three-point range, 0 free throw attempts, 0 steals, 0 block shots, 3 turnovers, 1 personal foul, and his plus-minus was a -2. Also, I want to mention that the Lakers only had 7 turnovers in this game, which is a terrific number. Probably the best in the league average by game is, I would say, maybe 13 per game. So it's unfortunate the Lakers lost by 15 points, and it wasn't really that close, even though they only turned the ball over 7 times in the game. So what happened in the game was it was close after one quarter. The Lakers started strong and they hung tough as the Cavs came back more towards the end of the first quarter. They were down by 4 points were the Lakers after 1. They were down by 15 points after 2. So the Cavaliers started to find their groove. Lakers were down 17 points at the end of 3 quarters. Cavs just kind of kept rolling on. And then in the fourth quarter, the Cavs kind of took their foot off the gas. The Lakers won that quarter, and it was the only quarter of the game in which they did win, 26 points to 24. So that made the lead, or the deficit, only 15 points at the end of the game. But it could have been a lot worse. The Cavs were just crushing the Lakers in this game at various points, just almost playing like playground pickup basketball. Just didn't care. And so that's basically what happened in the game. It was a good start. The Lakers started well. It looked like it was going to be competitive, but it just all turned in the second quarter, and it never turned back. Jordan Clarkson had a very nice game in this outing. The 20 points and 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and also 0 turnovers. That was definitely the highlight for the Lakers. Jeremy played okay until the fourth quarter, when he played really well. His efficiency number going into the fourth quarter was 1, and by the end of the game it was 9. So he did very well in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, the game was pretty much out of reach by then. But look, you can only play when you're on the court. So do your thing, and that's what he did. The only negative for today of Jeremy was the turnovers. His assist-to-turnover ratio was 1-to-1, which is not what you're looking for. But Jeremy was playing sick in this game. He had a stomach virus or stomach flu, something like that. And so that seemed to kind of sap his energy, and it probably took away from his concentration a little bit as well. So he fought through it. He played. He wasn't the reason why the Lakers lost. So in terms of looking at him as an overview, just kind of move on to the next game. This is not. I didn't expect that the Lakers were going to do well in this game. The Cavaliers were coming. They were at home. It was on national television in the United States on one of the major networks. And the Cavs had just lost their 12-game winning streak in Indiana the other day, and so they were probably pretty upset. And so this game played out pretty much the way you thought it might. And like I said, that Jeremy didn't have the power to change that. He wasn't on the court enough, and he wasn't feeling well, so it just wasn't going to happen. Okay, let's talk about what the lead up to the game was, what was going on before the game. As I said, Jeremy had the stomach virus coming in. That was reported a couple hours before the game. The Lakers came into this contest having lost 9 of their last 10 games and having lost 2 of their last 14 games. So we said on Twitter, if you follow us on Twitter, we had a little picture of the tank with Byron Scott and Kobe Bryant driving the tank, and the tank was rolling into this game, and it continues rolling on after this game. Cleveland, on the other hand, was 12-1 in their last 13 games coming in, that one loss being to the Pacers the other day. So, as I mentioned, things played out about the way you would expect them to play out, given those two vectors or lines or directions that the teams were heading in. And that's what happened today when those two lines intersected. Okay, now let's talk about some quarter by quarter. The first thing that I noted to myself, and I said this on Twitter, and I know Ito Amir agreed with me, as soon as I found out that Mike Tirico of ESPN was calling the game, I muted the game immediately. And it's unfortunate, as Ito pointed out, because Hubie Brown was working with Mike Tirico. I love Hubie Brown. I love listening to him. I know a lot of younger people don't like him much. It's like, who's this old guy? And he says obvious stuff. But Hubie's been around the game for such a long time. He's a great coach. He just lives basketball, and I love listening to him. But Mike Tirico, to me, shouldn't be calling basketball games, and he should not be calling high-level basketball games. ESPN has a habit of taking teleprompter readers, meaning people from their studio, guys that were trained as journalists, but they were not trained as play-by-play people, and trying to make them into play-by-play or analyst personalities. And Mike Tirico is probably the biggest example of that. Now, Mike Tirico is okay, like when he's calling golf or something. He's not good on the NBA. He makes a lot of mistakes. His voice isn't that great, in my opinion, as a broadcaster voice. And like I said, he constantly makes mistakes. And when you compare the ESPN play calling talent and compare it with like TNT, there's just no comparison. I mean, I like Mike Breen, actually, as the lead broadcaster, but Mike Tirico's like the number 2 broadcaster play-by-play, and that just doesn't work. You're putting him up against somebody like, not Marv Albert. Marv Albert's number 1 on TNT, but maybe somebody like Kevin Harlan, that level, and there's no comparison. It's just, in my opinion, it's a failed experiment, and I really, truly wish ESPN would take him off of broadcast. He's just not very good, and it's a detriment to their presentation of the NBA, in my opinion. Okay, so the game, like I said, the Lakers were very competitive in the first quarter. And it was 6-5 Lakers early on. And then Ryan Kelly had 2 personal fouls, so he had to come out of the game. And he was replaced by Wesley Johnson, who did very well early on in this game. Did quite well. Moving on to the middle of the first, Lakers still had the advantage here, 13-11. So they were playing, like I said, they were playing really well. Then Jordan Clarkson had one of his rare miscues on this day. He went up for a drive on the left-handed side of the basket, and he expected that somebody was going to try to block his shot, and nobody did. And because he was expecting someone to challenge his shot, he literally went right up, right beside the basket, like 2 feet from the basket, and laid the ball off of the backboard. Like, it didn't even touch the rim. It just kind of came almost straight out of his hand and just hit the backboard and bounced off the backboard. So That was odd, but it happens when you alter your shot because you are expecting somebody to try to block it. Then I made a note that I said Cleveland is being outrun by the Lakers right now. Cleveland, as you would expect on a team with LeBron James, is pretty good at fast breaks. But early on in this game, the Lakers were outrunning them. So Clarkson, Ellington, the young guys for the Lakers, Tariq Black, they were running better than the Cavs were. And so that was good to see. That was definitely promising for the Lakers. Carlos Boozer came in with the score 15-14 for the Lakers. And then the Lakers ran their lead up to 3 points, 19-16. Moving on into to late in the first quarter, I put that Kevin Love looks like he's struggling. It looks like he's had a back problem all year, and that definitely looked to be the case early on in this game. He was just moving slowly and just struggling to get up the court on like fast breaks and stuff like this. He just was moving slow, and that was slowing down Cleveland's offense. Jeremy came into the game with the score 19-18 and 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the first quarter. At that point in time, Jordan Clarkson already had 8 points, and Wesley had 7 points. So like I said, Wesley started very hot in this game. Then ABC put up a graphic which mentioned the Lakers' winning percentage of this year, which is, I put this up on Twitter the other day. Coming into this game, the Lakers' winning percentage on the season, meaning the percentage of the games in which they had won out of all of those they had played, was .260, or 26% of the games they had played, they had won. That is on pace for the worst winning percentage in the Lakers' 67-year history. Currently, the worst ever was when, in I believe the 1957-1958 season, when the Lakers were still in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They didn't move to LA until 1960. So that gives you a sense of the depths to which Byron Scott and the Lakers tank is going this year. And it's for a franchise as established as the Lakers that has only missed the playoffs 6 times, I think, in 66 years. That's saying something. We're on a historic pace here of futility, and it's unfortunate. You're just not used to seeing the Lakers like this. So that's what this season is right now, and that's how it's developed. And like I said, ABC put up a graphic pointing that out at this point in the game. Then Cleveland got the lead. They finally got a lead in the game where they finally held a lead, 22-21 for the Cavaliers, heading in late still in here in the first quarter. Then Kyrie Irving hit a three-pointer over Jeremy. I put tough defense. It was a tough shot. I mean, Jeremy was on him, but Kyrie is a very good shooter, and he just was able to knock it in. Then Jeremy had his first turnover of the game. He drove down the left side of the paint. He did the move where he stops, and then he pivots around. Then he tried to throw a lob to Ed Davis, but it wasn't on target, and Ed was pretty well covered. And so the pass was picked off by, I believe, LeBron himself. Okay, and then the Cavs came down the other end, and Kyrie Irving hit a three-pointer off of that turnover. So that was definitely a tough play for Jeremy and the Lakers. Then Jeremy had his first assist on a pick-and-roll play with Carlos Boozer, which was, instead of Carlos rolling to the basket, he popped out for a jumper, is the term. So that's actually a pick-and-pop play. Jeremy was driving down the middle of the lane. Carlos was flared out to about the right side of the free throw line. Jeremy passed it to him. Carlos hit one of his high-arcing trademark jump shots, and that was the first assist for Jeremy. Then I put Kyrie Irving is working over JLin. my guess would be, given social media and all of this, that the Cavs knew Jeremy was sick. And so, whatever the case was, Kyrie Irving was going to work on Jeremy. And look, Kyrie Irving's a fantastic one-on-one player. And he's one of the best one-on-one players in the league. And one-on-one, just, you versus your man, and you try to beat your man off the dribble. And he was doing well against Jeremy. And like I said, if I had to guess, my guess would be that the Cavs knew Jeremy was sick. So go after the guy that's weak and sick. And that's what they were doing. Then Jeremy hit his first shot of the game. I did not see it. I think it was a jump shot that he hit, or like a coast-to-coast shot. I was taking a note at the time, and I did not miss it. I did not see it, excuse me. Okay, so we reached the end of the first quarter, 32-28 for the Cavs. Jeremy, at this point in the game, had 2 points, 0 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 turnover. Moving on to the second quarter, the Cavs began to pad their lead. They were now getting into a real groove on offense. And pretty soon it was 37-28 for Cleveland. They were up 9 points. And again, they were off to the races now. Then Jeremy was fouled as he was bringing the ball up. So it was no shots. He was fouled by Matthew Dellavedova, the Australian backup point guard for the Cavs. I like Dellavedova a lot. His nickname is Delly. He's not talented enough, in my opinion, to be a true backup point guard. He should be like your third-string point guard, but he's a tough-minded player. He's physically tough. He's mentally tough. And he's a guy that can help a team. He's a guy that you would like to have on a championship-level team, just not as your primary backup point guard, which is what he's playing right now. But he's a difference maker if he's put in the right situations. It's just, you don't want him playing too many minutes. But so he fouled Jeremy on that play. Okay, then Iman Shumpert had a great dunk. Of course, Iman, friends with Jeremy from the Linsanity 1.0 New York days. Cleveland ran an inbounds play, and Iman basically ran a circle route, came from like the top of the key, ran a circle towards the left side, and Kyrie passed him the ball, lob, dunk. It was a very nice play. It's good to see Iman back. Iman had a dislocated shoulder earlier in this season, and he's just kind of working his way back into game shape and everything, and he is going to be a key pickup for the Cavaliers. That's a piece that they got in their trades and acquisitions that's definitely going to help them greatly. And they're a much different team since they made the trade for Timofey Mozgov, Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith. They sent out Dion Waiters and some picks. And since those three players have come in, and since LeBron James took 2 weeks off to heal his body, they've been a completely different team. It's like night and day. They're much, much better now. They're an elite team now. Now, they still have some things to do. They still need a few more pieces. I know that Todd was saying on Twitter that David Blatt, the coach of the Cavs, plays too few men in the rotation, 7 or 8 men. And I agree with Todd about that. The problem is they need another guy or two that they can count on to play. And they don't really count on Dellavedova too much, and they don't really count on Sean Marion too much at this point in time. So they only trust Does Blatt, the starting 5, plus Iman Shumpert and Tristan Thompson. So that's 7 guys, plus a little bit of Dellavedova. So you only have 8 guys there. They need to get that up to 10 guys. They need a backup point guard, and they need a backup center. And they could also use a backup wing player if they can get it kind of to play behind him, LeBron. Is that going to happen this season? I don't know. I could see them picking up another guy or two. I don't know if they'll be able to pick up like 3 more guys this year. They might have to wait until the summer to be able to do that. Then Jeremy missed his, I think it was his second miss of the game, so I did not see his first miss. He put up a bank shot off the right side. It wasn't a great play. Jeremy was a little too locked in on shooting the ball on that play, meaning he had decided he was going to shoot no matter what. And I think it might have been better for him in that instance to pass the ball, given the defense that was on him, and he just didn't have a good angle. It wasn't a terrible shot. It just wasn't a great shot. Soon after that, he had his second assist of the game, threw it into Tariq Black for a nice little layup. So that was a good play by both of them. Then Tariq Black had a tremendous dunk on a tip dunk. A tip dunk means that your team has missed a shot and the ball is bouncing off the rim and you tip it in. It's called usually that play is called a tip in, but when it's a dunk, it's called a tip dunk or a tip in dunk. And Tariq Black just flew over Kevin Love and dunked the ball in. He's so athletic. He's such a great acquisition for the Lakers. He's been a real find for them, and I think the Rockets are missing him right now with Dwight Howard out for a month or so with his knee issue. That point in the game, 6 minutes and 7 seconds left. We just got a timeout by the Cavs because the Lakers were making a run, and they had cut the lead down 44-41 for Cleveland. Following that timeout, Jordan Clarkson came back in for JLin, and I made the note that says, Byron can't have continuity because that might interfere with the tank. And that's kind of a joke, but right when the team starts playing well, Byron switches the lineup. So, if you're a conspiracy theorist, you'd say, well, maybe they don't want to win. And that's just the first kind of thought that went through my mind. I'm not saying I'm correct about that. That's what I felt. Okay, then Cleveland began to push the lead back up. They got it up by the 7 points. Then Nick Young got a technical foul. I don't know what he got it for because I had the audio off at that point, so I don't know exactly what happened on the play. Moving into the second, then Kevin Love started hitting threes. He hit 2 threes in a row, drove the lead up to 15 points with 2 minutes and 47 seconds left. This is a great sign for the Cavaliers and for Kevin Love. Of course, the Cavs are celebrated as having a big three, meaning the combination of LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love. Well, of that big three, the person who struggled the most is Kevin Love. As I mentioned earlier, he's had a bad back. It seems like the whole season. And he's having a tough time finding his role in the offense. So he's kind of going through the same kind of transition that Chris Bosh went through, playing with Dwayne Wade and LeBron. And so this was definitely a breakout for Kevin, and the team was trying to get him going. You could see LeBron was looking for him specifically, and at this point in time, Kevin was starting to feel it. He hit 2 3-pointers, and he was going to hit 2 more 3-pointers before the half ended. So, like I said, if you're a Cavalier fan, it doesn't get any better than this. Now you've got your third guy starting to find his offense. Okay? Then they were showing, it was ABC, they were showing a trading card, kind of like a card that kids might pass around, for the father of Kevin Love. His name was Stan Love, and he played in the NBA as well. So that was kind of cool. Just kind of neat. They were just kind of getting across the point that Kevin's dad also played in the NBA. Okay, then as I said, Kevin hit 2 more 3-pointers, so he hit 4 3-pointers in the span of 5 minutes or something. He was just rolling at this point in time, and at that moment in the game, Kevin Love had hit 5 of 6 from 3-point range. So That was great. If you're a Cavs fan, if you've watched them play this year, and I've got to catch a number of their games, and if you're a Kevin Love fan, one of the problems for Kevin Love this season has been his shot has been flat, meaning it doesn't have any arc on it. And that's typical with back injuries. You don't want to jump. And so if you're not jumping and you rely on jumping to get kind of more arc on your shot, well, if you're not jumping and your back makes it so you don't want to jump, it's common to lose the arc on your shot. And that's exactly what Kevin's shot has looked like all season. I thought his shot still looked pretty flat in this game, but once he started to hit some shots, then he started to get more arc. I think the adrenaline's going and just the back's loosening up and everything's starting to click in, and that's what happened here. Okay, went to halftime 64-49 to Cleveland. The Cavs were in full control now. So whatever window of opportunity existed for the Lakers, I think, in this game had fallen away. And now it was Cavaliers stampede. Moving on into the third quarter, Kevin Love hit another jump shot. He drew a three-point shot foul on Tariq Black. He kind of faked Tariq Black. Black jumped into him, and Love went up like he was going to shoot. So he got 3 free throws, which he hit 2 of those. That pushed the lead up to 71-51 Cleveland. So they're up by 20 points now, and they're just rolling. Then it got to 78-55, so up by 23 points. And this was the point in the game where it just looked like shooting practice for the Cavaliers. I made that note on Twitter, so it looked like a shooting exhibition. It's kind of like the Cavs were just coming down and taking three-pointers and hitting most of them. They didn't even care. They weren't worried about the defense. They weren't worried about anything. And they just started making them and bang, bang, bang. Then it got to 84-55 for the Cavs. So the Cavs were up by 26 points. At that point in the game, the Cavaliers were shooting 61% from the field, and they had hit 12 three-pointers out of 20 attempts for 60%. So 61% from the field, 60% from three-point range, and that's why the Lakers were getting just steamrolled. They were just getting crushed at this point in time. Then Timofey Mozgov blocked Robert Sacre dunk attempt. It was a fantastic block by Mozgov, who he's almost by himself has completely changed the Cavaliers' defense. He's over 7 foot tall in his bare feet. He's legitimately 7 feet. He's very physical, and he's a good player. He's a smart and athletic player, and that dunk block by him was a good representation of how he's kind of altered the Cavaliers' defense. Okay, moving on into late in the third, the Lakers were beginning to make a little bit of a run here. They cut the lead down to 21 points. I mean, it's not, it's still not great, but it's better than 26 points. And now the Cavaliers had gone cold. They started to miss shots. They were still coming down and shooting like everything, but they started to miss. And so now Lakers were starting to make a push. Clarkson got a fantastic steal, and he got an and-one layup. That cut the lead down to 16 points. Now it's 86-70. So it looked like the Lakers might have one more opportunity in the game. And so it was starting to get a little bit more interesting. I think the Cavs then took a timeout, and the lead got pushed back up to 20 points, Kevin Love then hit 2 more three-pointers to make him 7 of 8 from three-point range for the game. But the Lakers had hung around. They had cut the lead down to just 17 points as we headed into the fourth quarter. At this point in time, Jordan Clarkson had 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. And he had played 27 minutes, and that was all he was going to play in this game because Jeremy was going to play the entire fourth quarter. Clarkson had played the entire third quarter, and now Jeremy was going to play the entire fourth quarter. So this is more of this kind of, I don't know, Byron just picks and chooses whatever his rotations are going to be. And as I said, it feels a lot like a formula for a tank. But whatever, that's where things are at right now. Okay, moving on into the fourth quarter, Jeremy then had a quick turnover bundle, which is a couple of turnovers in a short period of time. He had his first turnover of the fourth quarter, his second turnover in the game. He was driving towards the basket, and he just, I didn't see exactly what happened, but you could just tell that he wasn't sharp. He looked sick. He just didn't look on point. And so he got a second turnover there. Then he had a blown assist, passed the ball to Tarek Black, who was right by the basket, went up for a layup, but he was stripped by, I believe, Iman Shumpert as he went up for the layup attempt. So that, of course, is no assist then for Jeremy. Then Jeremy had his third and final turnover. Again, I did not get to see it. I was taking notes. I didn't see it, but yeah, that was the third and final one. Then he had another blown assist pass to Carlos Boozer, who missed a jump shot. Then Kyrie Irving had another couple good plays against Jeremy. So it was, like I said, it was a tough day for all the Lakers. Then Jeremy had a nice short, I think it was a jump shot from a pass by Ed Davis. So that was his second score of the game. That cut the lead to 109-85 Cleveland, but they're still up by 24 points. So whatever hope had been established near the end of the third quarter seemed mostly gone now. It was, okay, the Cavs had pushed this lead back from 17 to 24, and now they're just going to kind of coast in for the W. That's kind of what it looked like. Okay, then Jeremy hit a terrific three-point shot in transition. It was just about straight on, meaning just about like right at the top of the arc, but he was about 5 feet behind the line. He was coming out in transition, and someone passed him the ball, and I don't remember who it was. He caught the ball and went right into a shooting motion, and he just drilled it. That was probably his best play of the game. It was just a perfect play, no thinking, and he was in rhythm, and he just shot it, and he drilled it. Okay? Then moving on, he missed another shot, which I did not see. That made him 3 of 6 for the game in shooting. Then he had his third assist. Nice pass to Ed Davis, who then hit a driving layup. Then Jeremy had his fourth score of the game. Wesley passed him the ball, and he put it in for the basket from, I think, about 7 feet out or something. Then that made the lead 111-92 for Cleveland. So, again, they're still in full control here, but Lakers are kind of getting a little bit better here. Then Jeremy had his fifth and final score of the game. He had a nice fadeaway jump shot from about right of the top of the key extended, so a little bit over to the right from where the top of the key is, that semicircle on top of the free throw line. And then finally, his ninth field goal attempt of the night was blocked by Tristan Thompson. He drove to the left side of the backboard, and he was wide open. He had easily beaten his man, but Tristan Thompson came in at the last minute to block the shot. Tristan's good at doing that, and he showed it there. Then I think he had an assist for a foul to Ed Davis. I believe Jeremy passed him the ball. Ed went up for a shot, but it was fouled, so of course Jeremy doesn't get the assist for that. And then he had one more blown assist to Ryan Kelly, who missed a three-point attempt. That took us right up to the end of the game, 120-105 Cleveland, as I mentioned. And as soon as the game ended, you could see Jeremy and Iman Shumpert hug. As I mentioned, those two are good friends from New York, and it was nice to see those two be able to kind of reconnect there in that moment. And that's about it. As I said, look, Jeremy, not his best outing in terms of turnovers or defense, but he played through the sickness, and he did get hot late. So he was able to kind of pad the stats and do a couple things to feel good about himself there late in the game. And that's good to see. That's important for him. Just do what you can and try to take something positive out of the game. And he was able to do that. So, look, the Lakers were just outmatched today. And the Cavs are a great team. Their record isn't one of the elites in the league, but since they made the trades and since LeBron took about 2 weeks to kind of get his body right, they're an elite team. There's no question about it. The Lakers are not an elite team, and so this is what you end up getting, and that's kind of what happened today. The next game for the Lakers coming up, let's take a look at that. They will be playing a back-to-back in the next 2 games. So they'll have two nights of consecutive games. And the first of those will take place at home against the Denver Nuggets on Tuesday, February 10th here in the United States. And it'll take place at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. And that means it will take place on Wednesday, February 11th at 11:30 a.m. in China, Taiwan, and the Philippines. In the United States, the game will be broadcast on TNT television. Now, this is definitely a winnable game for the Lakers. In fact, they might be favored in this game. Denver is in a tailspin. They're crumbling right now. There's a bunch of issues around their head coach, Brian Shaw, who is a former Laker and a former Lakers assistant, I believe, who is a highly touted coaching prospect, but things are going from bad to worse for him in Denver. Denver's lost many games recently. They have not won very many games in their last 10 or 15 games. So that is definitely a game in which the Lakers are going to have a chance to win. Or they go into the game feeling like we can win this game. So hopefully, maybe we'll be able to see that. It's been a while since we've seen a win, and it would be it'd be nice to get a win. So we'll just have to see how things play out. Again, for Jeremy, there's still word out there in conversation. Jeremy could get traded. We're less than 2 weeks away from the trading deadline, which comes on February 19th. I don't think Jeremy's going to get traded. I do think that the Lakers would trade him if they could trade him, but they don't. Apparently, they don't feel like anybody's interested for Jeremy's contract and so on. So my guess is that he won't get traded. And look, if he's not going to get traded, we've said it before recently, I don't think he'll be back at the Lakers next year. But it'll be nice for him if he's not traded to get beyond the trading deadline. Then you know you're not going to have to move this year, at least not during the season. And so that's kind of a relief. And then you could kind of settle in and just play out the games and go from there. For the JLin fans, look, 31 more games. Jeremy got through the illness today. Hopefully he can rest up tonight on the plane ride, rest up tomorrow, and just hopefully he'll feel better from the Denver game, and let's just go from there. It's Denver's a lot easier an opponent than Cleveland is, particularly at this time. So let's just move on. And I know KP Chan said it and others have said it on Twitter. Look, the stress is kind of off here. We have a pretty good idea that Jeremy's not going to be there next year. Jordan Clarkson's point guard of the future. There's talk about the Lakers going after Goran Dragic and others. So it does seem Jeremy's going to move on, and I think that's best for him in terms of playing for Byron Scott, in terms of where the Lakers franchise is right now. They're kind of in a downturn, and playing with Kobe. So that's probably best. So now Jeremy, hopefully for this last 31 games, if he's not traded, can just focus on what he's got to do. Keep trying to play your best, be a good teammate, which he is, and just work on your skills and try to stay healthy. So let's move on to the Denver game, and we'll see what happens in that game. Hopefully he can feel better and do even better in that game than he did in this game. Okay, that's it for now. Thumbs up, thumbs down to your comments below. I want to thank Gary Chen for the artwork you're looking at right now. You can find out more about Gary in the video description below the video player. We'll have information so you can go check him out on Facebook. Gary is a member of the Jeremy Only Lin Garden fan club. He is an artist and blogger in Taiwan. Highlights about this game, for this game, also in the video description below the video player. You can check out that, and how you can come and join us on the Conservative New Media Facebook group, as well as come and follow us on Twitter. We have a lot of fun on Twitter talking with everybody. Love for you to come and join in on that. Again, I am PFE Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We strive to be the #1 Jeremy Lin YouTube fan channel. Nice outing for Jordan Clarkson. Solid outing for Jeremy. He really kind of did some good things there in the fourth quarter. Like I said, let's get on the plane, heal up, get some chicken soup, get some vitamin C, rest up, hopefully beat this little flu bug, and let's roll it out for the Denver game and see what Jeremy and the team can do in that game. Okay, that's it. For the Cavs fans, look, you guys got to be happy. Again, with Kevin Love playing like this, your team's going to be very difficult to beat. Kyrie did his thing. LeBron's LeBron. And so things are definitely looking up for the team. Even though they had the tough defeat in Indiana the other night, you can't win every single game. So one team's moving up, one team's going down, and like I said, for the team going down, we will see them again in a couple days, 2 days from now, against the Denver Nuggets. And hopefully that's a game where the home fans at Staples can look forward to a competitive contest and hopefully a win for a team that hasn't had many of them recently. Have a great night or great day wherever you are around the world when you check out this video. Stay warm in the Northern Hemisphere. Here in the northeast of the United States, we're about to get a bunch of more snow, like in Boston and some other areas. Stay bundled up. Down in the Southern Hemisphere, South America, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, stay cool. You're enjoying the middle of the summer, and we hope that you're having fun with that. We will talk to you again soon. We'll look for you in the comments and look for you on Twitter. Take care until then.